Hey there folks, welcome to this video, and here I'm going to be talking about the Chinese Grand Prix. Scheduled to be round 4 of the 2020 Formula 1 World Championship, it's also scheduled to get underway in, well, just over 2.5 months' time from me recording this. I'm saying right now I'm recording it around 9 PM UK time on the 6th of February, so as of me recording this, these facts are up to date. Currently, the situation for the Grand Prix is a little bit up in the air due to the spread of coronavirus, and in addition to that, the sporting authorities in Shanghai advising that all sporting events in March and April as well as in February are all cancelled. Now, with the Sanya ePrix, Formula E's round in China happening a month earlier, and that already having been cancelled, the questions are now, will the Chinese Grand Prix get cancelled? There have been some people saying it already has been. It hasn't yet. But also, would it be rescheduled? And what could it mean for the Vietnamese Grand Prix, round 3 at the moment, which would be holding its first race on the 5th of April? Well, firstly, we don't know if the Grand Prix is going to be cancelled yet. We understand that there was, like, a likelihood that it could have been cancelled, say, yesterday, or in the early hours of today. But right now, Ross Broad said, well, there are a couple of deadlines that we can feasibly try and schedule. The first one is in around 2 weeks' time, when they're going to start shipping out things such as tyres and fuel. And then the other one is around a couple of weeks after that, when they're going to start bringing personnel over for the Chinese Grand Prix. And those are the kind of deadlines where they have to be able to cancel the race with like minimal disruption to fans and to the sport itself. And that's actually completely fair. I mean, Liberty don't want to cancel races. The last race of F1's to have been properly cancelled before the race weekend even began was the Bahrain Grand Prix in 2011. And that was because of the Arab Spring. But there is a high chance that the race might not take place on the 19th of April. But they're looking to reschedule it instead of just outright cancel it. The question is, though, logistically, where will that fit in? Because with the exception of the mandatory shutdown over the summer, most races happen back to back with, say, a 2-week break in between. Lots of people were suggesting a direct switch with the Russian Grand Prix, so it could take an early season slot like it did, say, circa 2016. But that would cause a lot of disruption to people who, say, had already booked mid-late September off to be able to go to the Russian Grand Prix and had already scheduled a whole thing around the Russian Grand Prix. Can't really uproot that and say, oh yeah, so that thing that's going to be happening in 7 months' time is actually happening in 2 months' time. And you can't do that if you've made it later as well, because then that would be even worse. Looking at the calendar, I see a potential option around the time of the Japanese Grand Prix. However, 2 problems that come from that are, if you put it on the 4th of October, you'd have a quadruple header, which would be killer. But if you put it after, you'd have a triple header. Well, even a quadruple header there, actually, with the United States Grand Prix and the Mexican Grand Prix. And F1 doesn't like triple headers because it tires out all of the teams, all of the crews, and logistically is a bit of a nightmare. And that's putting it lightly. So, I'm not going to be able to say what will happen, but right now it's looking like they want to reschedule it, but ideally will keep it going. But what could it mean for the Vietnamese Grand Prix? Well, there are confirmed cases of coronavirus there. But there are confirmed cases of coronavirus around the world. There are 3 as of today here in the UK, where I live. We don't see the British Grand Prix being under any kind of imminent threat. But what could happen to it? It's highly likely that it would still go ahead. I mean, you don't want to cancel your country's first Grand Prix because then it's highly unlikely you get a second, for example. I mean, we saw that with Rally China and the WRC in 2016. Though there are also other things about Rally China. I might actually do a video about that someday. But I reckon that would go ahead. I don't see it under really any kind of imminent threat, personally. But they are going to have to kind of monitor the situation to see how it develops. Either way, I just wanted to kind of get this out here as a video. I get a bit annoyed when I see the kind of mysteries on the internet, and especially around something that I'm passionate about as motorsports. I want to make sure that, at least to my subscribers, I'm trying to be logical and putting all the facts on the table and listening to all different kinds of sources, trying to find the direct source. So I'll put my sources in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.